Okay. All right. So I guess you are able to see my screen. Let me know if anyone is not able to see the screen. Are you guys able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So this is called as running notes, and this running notes will be shared to you on everyday basis. So I'll be uploading in the same location, and you can download the things from there. All right. Okay. So let me mention 17th. So we'll be discussing with manual testing for today, and tomorrow also we'll be covering some topics of manual testing. So in manual testing, we are going to cover every topic that a person is needed when he is working. So it will be more kind of theory, like, and also the practical. So I cannot start right from day one all the practical stuff, because first we need to understand some theory thing, and then after that we are going to understand some practical stuff, how we do in the job and what all the things that we do and all. Okay, so first let's talk about a simple concept which is called as testing. So what is testing? So we are going to talk about three things. So the first thing is, what is testing? What is testing? Why testing is needed, and the people who are going to do the testing, people who perform testing. So these are the three different things that we are going to address first. So the simple definition of testing, we can say, like, testing is to make sure that something is working fine. So what do you mean by that something? So we cannot say like testing is to make sure that something is working fine. So what is that something that we have to understand first? So consider that you have to test this simple application. So there is a calculator, and I'm asking you to test this calculator. So if you want to test this calculator, so what all the basic things we are going to do? So I'm going to press this 2 plus 2 equal to, and now I'm checking whether I'm getting 4 or not. So what do you say? Is this plus button working correctly or not? What's your answer?
Yes.
It's working fine, right? So I'm doing 6 minus 4. Tell me if it is working or not.
Yeah.
It is working fine. Okay. So I'm performing 9 into 2. So I'm getting 18. Is this working fine?
Yeah.
So this
Perfect.
is working fine, right? So how we are saying like this application is working fine is, we have seen this calculator from very long time ago. So maybe from childhood we started using this calculator, or in childhood we have learned this mathematics, saying like when you are pressing 2 plus 2, I'm supposed to get 4. When I'm using 6 minus 4, I'm supposed to get 2. When I'm using 9 into 2, I'm supposed to get 18. The same logic somebody has implemented for this. So in simple words, we are saying like testing is to make sure that application is working fine. Application is working fine. Or we can also say testing also as, testing is to make sure that expected result is matching with actual result. Okay, so what is expected result and what is actual result? When I am pressing 2 plus 2, I'm expecting that 4 should come. In my mind, I already have that 4 should come. When I am practically doing, if I am getting 4, this is my actual result. So whatever I have in my mind is expected. Whatever I'm physically getting on the application is actual. So you are comparing between expected result and actual result. That is also called as a testing, right? Okay, so who will tell that this application is working fine and this application is not working fine? So you know this calculator, you are seeing this calculator from very long back. So that is where you know that this application is working fine. Assume tomorrow you got a job with some bank or you got a job with some company. So let's say you got a job with some RBC bank. Now RBC bank has some application to be tested. RBC bank has some application to be tested. Now, how do you know that this application is working properly or this application is not working properly? So always, in order to do the testing, the prerequisite in order to do the testing, okay, so this I can call it as prerequisite. So in order to do the testing, it could be manual testing or automation testing, there is something called as requirements. Requirements should be defined. Okay, who will define this requirements? So requirements are defined by whom? Requirements are defined by client. Defined by client. And who will prepare requirements? Requirements are prepared by business analyst. Someone who is new to this IT field, someone who is learning for the first time, you need to remember these terms. So there is someone called as client, there is someone called as business analyst. These terminologies you have to remember. So always there is someone called as client. Client is someone who is paying for that software. So consider that I have to develop or I am looking for this website. Okay. So I want the software to be developed. So what are my requirements? My requirements is on my home page, I should have this home, about us, services, training, sample videos, testimonials, contact us, and then I need to have a WhatsApp image here. If somebody types something here, that has to connect with me, right? If somebody types here, that has to send a message to me. When somebody is clicking on training, software quality assurance training, it has to list down the list of the courses. So I am the client for this particular software because this is my company. I am paying for this particular website for someone to be developed. So what I'll do is I'm going to call a person who is going to develop this website, maybe a business analyst, and I'm going to explain to that business analyst that I want these things on the home page. So what is the job of the business analyst? The job of the business analyst is to take down the requirements that I am telling to him. So I am coming out with the requirements and the business analyst is preparing that particular requirements, and he will prepare. Requirements are prepared by the business analyst. He will prepare in a document called SRS, or it is also called as BRD. So SRS stands for Software Requirement Specifications. Specifications. And BRD stands for Business Requirement Document. Okay, clear with this? Any questions until here? Any questions until here?
No question.
Okay, so what is the purpose of doing testing is? Testing is to make sure that expected results is matching with actual result, and we can also say testing is to make sure that application is working as per the requirements. Okay, so somebody will define a requirement, sample requirement I am writing. Okay, requirement 1. So what is requirement 1? When the user click on uh, click on training menu, it has to display all the training courses provided. Okay, so this is one requirement. Requirement 2 says when the user click on Selenium training, it has to display the Selenium contents. Okay, so these are the two requirements that I have given to whom I will give. I am going to give these two requirements to the business analyst. Okay, because I am the client. So Naresh is calling somebody from a company who developed this application, and I am giving that requirement to him, these two requirements, and I am asking to develop a application for these two. So he will build this software. He will give this software to me. Now I am going to check whether my software is working fine, because I have a very small company. I don't have a separate team to do the testing. Client itself is doing the testing. So what client will do? The client will click on training. It has to display all the list of the training courses, right? It has to display all the list of training courses where the requirement says this, right? It is working as per the requirement. Your application is working as per the requirement. Now, when the person clicks on Selenium automation testing training, it has to basically display all the Selenium contents. It's working fine. So that means my application is working properly. That is called as testing, is to make sure that application is working as per the requirements, right? So that is the whole purpose, or that is the reason of calling this as a testing. So what is testing? Testing is to find this. Now, assume you are like, take this calculator. You are actually pressing 2 plus 2 and you pressed equal to. You actually press 2 plus 2 only. Okay, and you pressed equal to. Instead of getting 4, okay, here I am supposed to get 4. Instead of getting 4, I'm getting 0. Instead of getting 4, I'm getting 0. So your expected result is 4, but your actual result you got 0. What is this called? If there is a discrepancy between expected result and actual result. So that means I'm saying if expected result equal to actual result, we call it as pass. Your testing is pass. Now suppose your expected result is not matching with actual result. That means you are supposed to get 4, but you are getting 0. So your expected is not equal to. So this is how you will write not equal to in automation. Okay, automation testing, you will write not equal to like this. So we will come back to this automation testing later. So I'm saying that if expected result is not equal to actual result, I'm going to say that my testing is fail. If something is not matching with requirements, we call it as fail. And whenever you say fail, you call it as a bug. Okay, so bug or defect, anything is same. Okay, so now coming to here, bug or defect. So what is this bug or defect? Something, or we can say if application is not working as per the requirements, as per the requirements, then it is called bug or defect. So there is a minute difference between bug and defect. So that we will understand when we go to the actual bug life cycle. There is a concept called bug life cycle or defect life cycle. During that time, we will understand more about this. What is a bug or what is a defect and all. So
Sorry,
the
I'm only able to see until 13 line in Notepad.
everyone, is it same or only her?
I, I can see the whole screen, like until 20.
Yeah. So I think your internet is bit slow. Maybe it's taking time to load.
No, no, no. She has to expand that. She has to zoom it a little
It's
bit.
only
Oh,
giving me option for 50%.
Yeah, you just zoom
Not
it. Zoom it
giving
to
me.
zoom it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
zoom it,
not giving
or
me
you need to make your screen little larger. Like, you need to expand it. Like, there's an option called maximize the screen. Maximize your screen. Then you can see the rest of the stuff too.
I did. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay. So bug or defect is if application is not working as per the requirements, then it is called as bug or defect. Okay. So that is the main purpose of doing testing. Why we are doing testing? Another reason. So why testing is needed? So testing is needed, or we can also say here, testing is to make sure that application is not having any bugs. Okay, this is all about your definition of your testing. So when you go for an interview, generally what people they do is they will not ask such a small questions. But suppose if somebody asks you, they will just tell them as a definition. So testing is to check if expected result is matching with actual result. No, you are not supposed to explain that. You are supposed to explain, in my application, my requirement was this, and when I was testing, I was doing this, and if my application is not matching as per my requirements, I'm calling it as a bug or a defect. So as soon as you give any definition in the interviews, they can easily make out that you are not an experienced person. So you always have to explain in your own terms or in your own terminology what you have done in your project. So now during the classes, first you understand the subject, then you can correlate on your projects when you are actually explaining. Okay. Now, so what will happen, or why testing is needed? Why nowadays the people are considering testing as one of the important factor? Now I'll give you one of the very realistic example. So if you remember, because of this COVID thing, the Canadian government has announced one of the scheme which is called as CERB, right? Did you hear
Yes.
about this?
Yeah.
So what is the full form of CERB? Canada? Canada Emergency Revenue Benefits, correct? Yes or no? Maybe I am wrong in this abbreviation, but we heard about this CERB very frequently. Now, if you remember at the beginning when the government they launched this CERB, there was a lot of flaws in the application. So what was the flaws? Person who applied once, he could able to apply twice also, right? That is one of the flaws. So what has happened because of that? The money from the government has lost. The money from the government, they wasted unnecessarily. Though they are going to recover back, but still the government money is wasted. So what will happen? Same kind of thing happens with your application. So consider that you are testing a banking application. in banking application, you are testing one of the feature. So one of the feature is you have to basically transfer $100 from your checking account to savings account. So right now in your checking account, you have maybe around $1,000. So from $1,000 to savings account, you are transferring $100. So in your savings account, you have around $100. Now you transferred, your balance should be shown as $200, right? So what is happening? It is deducting the money from your checking account and it is adding the money in your savings account. So consider this, you are transferring the money, instead of deducting, it is keep on adding. So the balance here, it transferred as $100. Here it is showing as $200 only, but here balance it still shows as $1,000 only. It is supposed to say $900, but still it is saying $1,000 here. So what is happening? Whose money is gone? The bank money is gone, right? So if testing is not done properly, or if testing is not in place, the business of the client is lost. So that is the reason, in order to save the business of the client, or in order to save their business, why testing is considered as one of the important factor in the current world. Okay, that is the reason why testing is needed, right? Now next comes, who are the people who are going to do the testing? So whenever you are performing the testing, there are some set of people who are going to do the testing. So who are those? So there is a separate team called as QA team who will do the testing. Okay, so we are meant for doing the testing on the application. So mostly we are the people who are going to test the application. So testing can be done by QA team. Even development team can also do testing. I'll tell you what kind of testing they will do later, but even the development team can do. Business analyst can also do a testing. So business analyst team can also do the testing. Even a client can do a testing. Okay, even a client can do a testing, but they do different testings, which we are going to discuss in our further topics. So these are all the different people who will perform the testing. All right, any questions in this? Any questions in this? Guys, let me know if I am going bit fast, and let me know if something is not clear. Ask then and there, so that it's easy for you to clarify the doubts then and there. So I don't mind repeating one more time. By end of it, what we want a proper training of out of it. So that is the reason, do not hesitate to ask me with regards to any sort of questions. Right? Okay. Are you able to hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so then we'll try to understand what are the different types of testings. So generally people will categorize the types of testings into different levels, but I would categorize testing into two levels. One is called as, you can do the testing manually, which is called as manual testing. You can do the testing, which is called as automation testing. So what is the difference between manual testing and automation testing? So the difference between manual testing and automation testing is, this is completely done by humans. Okay, this is completely done by humans. So this is done with the help of automation tools. So this is done with the help of automation tools. Now, what are the list of automation tools available? We are going to come back. But if somebody asks you to do the testing manually, how we are going to do the testing? So let's take one example. So I want to test the calculator. So somebody will give you the requirements. So requirements of calculator, I'm just writing down. So one of the requirement is, so the first requirement, when user clicks on plus button, it has to add the numbers. Okay, this is one. Second one is, when user clicks on minus button, it has to subtract the numbers. Okay, so they would give you something called as requirement document to you. So I'm talking about a manual testing. So in manual testing, the first step is somebody will give you the requirement document. So we are going to understand those requirements. So what the requirement says? So the requirement says there is a calculator application. On that calculator application, they are going to touch this plus button. And when the user is using this plus button, it has to give the addition of numbers. When the user uses minus button, it has to give the subtraction of the numbers, right? So that is what you will have with you. So once you understand the requirements, there is something called as test cases. So guys, I'm just giving you the overview of how the testing will be. We are going to practically see how we are going to perform this. Like, how do you write test cases? How do you execute them? How do you log defects? There is a detailed explanation that is available. Each and every topic we are going to discuss. For now, try to understand what are the different scenarios that I am explaining to you. Okay, so there is something called as test cases. So what is a test case? So test case is like a checklist that user has to do on the application. User has to perform on the application. Okay, now how this checklist is prepared? So in the test case, the user has to explain, like this test case is written by QA. Prepared by us. We are nothing but QS. So QA will prepare these test cases, and he want to prepare a test case for this plus button. So what he do is, I'm writing one of the test case. Test case 1. Okay, there are some techniques to do it, but we will discuss those techniques. But for now, try to understand what I am trying to explain you here. So test case 1. So I'm writing the test case for test case 1. In test case 1, I'm saying click on any button between 0 to 9. Okay, before this also, we write something called as precondition. Okay, now question for everyone. Now suppose I want to click on any button between 0 to 9. So what has to be there in front of you? If somebody has to click on any button between 0 to 9, what has to be there in front of you? Application should be opened, correct? That's called as precondition. Now, another precondition we will take. I need to transfer $100 from my checking account to savings account. What should be there in front of you? I need to transfer $100 from checking account to savings account. What should be there in front of you? First of all,
Account should be open.
your online banking application should be opened. You have to log in, and there should be $100 in your checking account, right? That is your precondition. So in order to test, what you should have before thing is nothing but precondition. So they will write a precondition. Calculator application should be opened. Okay, this is your precondition. Now what are these? These are called as steps. Steps that I am asking the user to do. So what are the steps I am asking the user to do? User is nothing but even we. I am giving the steps to somebody, he is a user. Someone who is testing that application is a user. I'm telling to the user, open this calculator first, click on any button between 0 to 9 and click on plus button, click on plus button. Third, click on any button between 0 to 9, and then fourth step, click on equal to button, and then once you perform these steps, there is something called expected result. So you have expected result saying like addition of two numbers should be displayed. So this is what called as a test case. Okay, so this is what called as a test case, right? So who will write this test cases? It is written by the QA. So QA will write this test cases. So when he will write, once he get the requirements from the business analyst, so business analyst will prepare the requirements like this. So the business analyst will give the requirements to the QA team. Now the QA team will come out with writing of this test cases. Okay, any questions in this? Now
No.
similarly, you have to write another test case. So you have to write another test case, which is called as TC2. So calculator application should be opened. Click any button between 0 to 9. Click on minus button. Any button equal to subtraction of two numbers should be displayed. Subtraction of two numbers should be displayed. These are the test cases that is written by the QA. So this is also done manually. Human being is doing this. Now, once the test cases are written, we will perform something called as testing application. So how the testing of the application would take place? Who would do this? This is again, we are focusing on QA for now. So QA will test the application. For now, this statement will change. Even BA can do, even client can do, even developer can do. That is called different types of testing. So that we will discuss down the line. What are the different testings performed by business analyst, done by client, done by developer, all those things. So now the testing team has to test the application. If they have to test the application, what are the prerequisites needed? So to test application, we need couple of things. One is we need requirement document. So requirement document is already with you. We need test cases. And the most important is application. Okay, these are the things that are needed in order to test the application. Okay, things needed are requirement document, test cases, application. So now you will go through the requirement document. You will go through the test cases. Now you will open your application. So what your test case says, calculator application should be opened. I opened it. Okay. Now it is asking me to click on any button between 0 to 9. So I'm clicking on any button between 0 to 9. 2. Then the test case says to click on plus button. I'm clicking on plus button. Then it is asking me to click on any button between 0 to 9. I'm pressing on 6. Now it is asking me to click on equal to. Addition of two numbers should be displayed. 2 plus 6 is 8, right? So that means, so here we also have actual result. Okay, so actual result, you will not write any actual result when you are writing the test cases. So here I wrote test cases, I left this empty. Okay, even this is empty. I'm not writing any actual result when I am writing test cases. So both are empty. Now I have done testing. So now I'm comparing expected with actual. Your expected should be, addition should be displayed, it displayed. Now your actual result obviously will be, you can write it in two ways. Addition of two numbers is displayed. See the way that you need to write here should be, that means you are expecting that it should be displayed. Here you are saying like actually it is displaying. Okay, so here in your test case itself, you have something called as status. So what is the status? If expected is matching with actual, your status will be pass. Okay, so that is what you are doing in testing. You are comparing it, you are writing your expected is matching with actual. If expected is matching with actual, you are saying like it is pass. If it is not matching, you are saying like fail. Now you are executing the second test case. This is passed. You executed one test case. Now you'll go to the second test case. You will do the same thing. You will open the same calculator, right? And then you are going to perform the steps. Step says click any button between 0 to 9. Minus 6. I'm supposed to get -1. Let's say you did not got -1. Instead of -1, you are getting +1. Or instead of -1, you are getting 11. Okay, so assume, for now there is no defect, but I am asking you to assume instead of displaying -1, it is displaying 11, right? So as it is displaying 11, you go to the actual result and you will say not same as expected result, right? When it is not same as expected result, obviously status will be fail. So this is also comes under testing the application only. Okay, now what will happen when the test case is failed? When the test case is failed, you are going to have something called as report defect reporting. Okay, so what is this defect reporting? So who will report defects? Defects are reported by QS. To whom? Who created this application? Can you say? Can somebody say? Who built this application? Did
Developer.
client build, BA built, developer built? Developer has built.
Developer. Right.
So you are reporting the defects to the developers. Defects are reported by QS to the developers, right? So three key things that you need to remember when you are logging a defect. Okay, so those three things are three important, not three in fact, I'll say four important things to be considered when reporting defects. So those four important things are as follows. So one is steps performed on application. Then expected result, actual result, fourth, screenshots. So this is what you have to do. So majority of the people, they will not do this. They assume, oh, I'm only doing testing. Developer know what I have done. So why I need to tell all this? Okay, so don't have a impression, because even in the place where I'm working currently, I have the same headache every day that I deal with the people. So every time what they do is they don't uh, write all these things when they are logging a defect. They'll just write some description and then leave it. Okay, so we'll come back why these are very important, is we'll come back to this. But in this particular context, why we have to do this? Who is fixing the defect? Developer will fix the defect. Now suppose you are not explaining to the developer that I am doing this, I am doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm supposed to get this, but I'm getting this. Now how the developer will know what you have done? Because these test cases that you wrote, developer will not have access. These test cases that you wrote, only QA will have access. So that is the reason why you are replicating the same thing. Again, you will mention all these things as part of your defect report. Okay, so this defect reporting is also done by the developers only. This is the overall process of your manual testing. So everywhere, if you see, somebody is not coming and testing for you. Every time you are testing by yourself only. Okay, clear how the manual testing process will be? Any questions in this? Any questions in this?
No.
Okay, so one second, guys. Okay, so let's talk about what do you mean by this is done with the help of some automation tools. So first of all, we need to understand what are the list of automation tools available. Selenium is one of the automation tool. Okay, Selenium is one of the automation tool. HP UFT. So UFT stands for Unified Functional Testing Tool. So UFT is one of the automation tool. So for the people who studied outside, maybe in your institutes you have learned older version of older version of QTP, but I'm going to teach you the newer version of UFT and all. Then I will tell you how you can install it on your machines too. So I'll help you out with that. So then there is also another automation tool which is called as Test Complete. Okay, Test Complete. Test Partner. Like this, there are list of automation tools available. So before we jump into automation classes next week, like next Saturday, I have a plan of starting automation. I'm starting automation testing bit early because there are a lot of things to be discussed in automation. So my course will go parallelly with manual and automation together, right? So that being said, before we land it into automation of doing it, I'm going to give you the list of all automation tools under which category it comes. For now, these are some of the sample automation tools. So I am actually using this HP UFT, assume. So the concept is same across anywhere. So in HP UFT, I need to do the automation testing for the same test case. So how the process will be. Okay. So I'll just take this paint. So this is your automation tool. Okay. And this is your application. So which is a calculator application. Any automation tool. I'm writing as automation tool. So you have a test cases. Let's say these are the test cases. So test case number one says click on to button. I'm not writing all the steps. Click on plus button. 3, click on to button. 4, click on equal to button. And I'm supposed to get something called as, let's say, 4. So this is your expected result. Okay. So in automation tool, there are some couple of controls. So one control is, this is one control, which is called as record button. So you have a stop button and you have a play button. I'm talking specific to the QTP, right? In other tools, you may not have this. Now, if you don't have these buttons, I can manually write. If you have these buttons, I can use these buttons. So this is your automation tool and this is your calculator. So in calculator, you have all the buttons like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. On the other hand, you also have the buttons which is plus, minus, into, divided by, and equal to. Okay, this is equal to, you have a equal to button. Okay, ignore this. So you have a equal to button. So now I have to do a automation testing. As my first step, what I'll do is I'll click on this record button. I'll click on this record button as my first step. After I click on record button, I'll go and press on this 2 button. As per my test case, I need to click on 2 button. That step will be recorded. Now I am going to click on plus button here. That equal to step is recorded here. Now I'll click on 2 button again. That step will be recorded here. Then, sorry, here it is not equal to, it is plus. It's my bad. I'm going to click on 2 button, then I'm going to click on plus button, then I'm going to click on 2 button. Now I'll click on equal to button. And now this 4, whatever is displayed, this 4, even I'll record that 4 here. Okay. So this is what my test case says. All my steps I am uploading in my automation tool with the help of this record button. Let's say you don't have a record button, you will manually write. You will manually write the steps. So once you have written all the steps, you will click on the stop button. So let's say I'm using record, stop, and play button. Now as my second thing, I'll click on the stop button. When I click on stop button, my recording will be stopped. So now I have to verify whether the steps are working properly. So I'm going to click on this equal to, I'm going to click on this play button. When I click on play button, all my steps will be performed on the application. When I click on play button, it will go and click on this, then it will click on this, then it will click on this again, then it will click on this again, and 4 will be displayed. If 4 is displayed, my testing is passed. If 4 is not displayed, my testing is failed. After I execute all the steps, automatically in my tool, it will say pass or fail. So this is, human being is controlling this software, but we are doing the testing with the help of this software. But we are performing the testing with the help of this software. That is called as automation testing. So to perform that automation testing, we are using any of these tools in the real time. Okay, so we are performing any of these tools. Like I mentioned, different automation tools, right? You will use any of these tools. So what is the advantage of this? So the advantage of this would be this. So consider, so your application, okay, let me ask this question to everyone. Okay, can I clear this off? Are you guys clear with this? Any questions in this? Any questions in this? Any questions in this?
No.
No.
Okay, so let me clear off this. Okay, let me ask a simple question for everyone. iPhone 10 and iPhone 11. So can you guys tell me what is the difference between iPhone 10 and iPhone 11? What might be the differences between both? Both are of iPhone only. So what could be the differences between iPhone 10 and iPhone 11? Okay. So simple
Like
thing will be
cameras.
maybe the camera resolution.
Yeah, the 3 cameras in iPhone 11, I think, and
Yeah.
iPhone 10 got 2 cameras.
Okay. So one second, guys. iPhone 10, and then we are saying about iPhone 11. So differences are maybe this has 3 cams and this has 4 cams. Just a simple example. So maybe they added a feature regarding the resolution. So camera resolution. So here also they added some camera resolution. So which is good than iPhone 10, right? So whenever a new application is released, you will be doing the testing, correct? You perform the testing for this, and you will also perform the testing for this. So similarly, you have calculator 1, I'll say 1.0, and you have calculator 2.0. So in calculator 1.0, you have currently plus, minus, into, divided by. So what they have done here in calculator 2.0 is they still have plus, minus, into, divided by, but they added some new option called percentile. So here also you will do the testing. Here also you will do the testing, right? So when you have to do the testing again and again, so same all 4 buttons you have to test. Here also you have to test 4 buttons along with that 5 buttons. So what you'll do, whatever you tested here, you have to test the same thing here also. So if you are doing everything manually, manual testing, to test this all 4 buttons, it may take around 10 minutes. It may take around 10 minutes to test all the 4 buttons, manual testing. Now here, to test the same manual testing, you will spend 12 minutes, right? Simple example. So this is what with the manual testing is. Why it will take 10 minutes? Because manually you have to click on everything. It will take time, right? So coming to the automation testing, the same thing probably you can do it in 2 minutes, right? So maybe to test this, because there is one new feature, it may take 3 minutes. So what I'm trying to tell you is you have to do the testing again and again. When you have to do the testing again and again, repeat same testing. Okay, this is one thing. Complete testing faster. Okay, complete testing faster. You go with automation testing. So why? Because automation testing, the tool is testing for you. So your tool will basically perform everything. So your automation testing is faster than your manual testing. So the purpose of people going into automation testing is you can repeat the same testing again and again, less cost, complete testing faster, right? These are the two aspects. And the advantage you are get with automation testing is it will save time and money. So how it will save time and money? Before we go into automation, I'm going to explain. the reason of people jumping into automation. So this is the simple thing why people are going into automation. So simple example we will take. So consider you have to walk for 2 kilometers. So maybe to walk for 2 kilometers on an average speed, how much time that human being can spend? How much time that human being will take in order to walk for 2 minutes? Approximately for 2 kilometers with a normal speed.
That's about hour.
2 kilometers hour? I'm not talking miles, I'm talking kilometers.
Oh.
Hardly 10
See,
minutes.
I can walk 2 kilometers maybe in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, let's consider 20 minutes. Every kilometer you are walking for 10 minutes. Now suppose if I drive for 2 kilometers, how much time would it take?
2 minutes.
So if I'm going with a speed of maybe 60 kilometers or 40 kilometers, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, right? So why 2 to 3 minutes? Because your car is faster than human being, because it is run with the engine. Now similarly, automation tool has some engine at the backside, so it will take less time than manual testers. So that is the whole reason why people are more towards automation, less towards manual. Is that making sense?
So generally it means for repeat testing or for regression
Correct.
testing, we use
Automation,
automation testing. Okay.
automation testing, because you have to execute the same thing again and again, again and again, again and again for 100 times. You will use automation testing there.
Okay.
So those are the differences between manual and automation testing. Okay. Clear? Any questions? Okay, so this is how my way of approach will be taking that concept. So if you see, I always say we go with the layman terms. So I cannot assume like out of 12 people, some people have some background, some people doesn't have. So we start the things right from the scratch like this. And this is how I have been with wherever institute I teach. It's not like this is my personal training. I'm going into details of it. Even in the other training institute, some of my old students, if you remember, we go into the details of this like this. Okay, any questions guys in terms of the explanation? So first of all, my funda is very simple. If you can understand on the simple things, then you can correlate on any application. So even the same thing tomorrow, you have to do the testing on this. How do you do the testing on this? So this is called Selenium automation testing training, right? If somebody has registered their details, so there is a test case which will write, because these are all mandatory. They have to enter their name, they have to enter the mobile number, they have to enter the email ID, city name, message, and they have to enter the captcha. When they click on submit, what's the expected? One email should come to my inbox. So let's do this testing now. I'm entering name. I'm entering my email, my phone number 647-620-7364. I'm entering my email ID naresh@gmail.com. City, Brampton, message, looking for Selenium training. Enter the captcha 61972. Submit, right? Your inquiry details submitted successfully, and we will get back to you at the earliest. That message should come. Along with that, one email should come to my inbox. Right? So let's see if I received any email. So I received an email, customer inquiry, and these are the details that has come to me. So the same funder of doing the testing. Now I have done manual testing. If I have to do automation testing, what I'll do, I'll go to that place. I will capture all the steps in the automation tool. I'll capture all the steps in the automation tool, click on submit. I will verify whether the email went to this mailbox or not. That is the automation testing that we are doing, that we will do in future also. Clear? Any questions in this? All right. So
Naresh, I want
yeah,
to ask, like, you have explained about automation as an, like, there is something called as UFT, Unified
correct.
Functional Testing. It is
Right.
somehow like a, plug and play kind of stuff.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
But
That is
UFT plug and play, majority of the companies will not use. Like any company will not use. In
okay.
UFT, you need to know how to write the scripts. Okay.
Okay.
So we use a VB scripting for it, and then it's completely a different thing altogether. So nobody would use that record, play, and stop button.
So, like, are we going to learn that in UFT, that how to write down those VB
No, so we are not, because my focus is more on Selenium. But if somebody asks you what you have in UFT, you can give that basic knowledge of that, because UFT itself is a different entity altogether.
So nowadays companies are using UFT or they are not using UFT?
Okay, instead of me saying it, I always go with practical stuff. So let's see how many requirements we have on UFT. Okay, so UFT, how many jobs we have? 23 jobs we have as of today. But again, if you are taking the requirements, right? So system quality specialist, automation. Okay, so here it says CGI. So
CGA, it's a very good company.
yeah, so it's a company where I also work with them, because in my projects they also involved in that. Now if you see there, so HP UFT they are asking. Now along with this HP UFT, they also ask some of the other tools. Okay, so this company, and now if you see in this company, though they said UFT, okay, so UFT is there. Now they are also asking the other tools. So the requirements you have on UFT is only this much.
But the problem is that, whenever we make a kind of, because I understand this job description has been done like, HR team or HR people, they generate this whole kind of stuff and they put
Correct.
all the things there in that,
Right.
job description.
Right.
But,
Right.
because when we talk to them like when we talk to the consultants or when we talk to the recruiters, they don't understand whether the original project requires UFT or they want and it's something else.
Yes.
So and there only they eliminate that candidate that you have
Correct.
not done UFT, so
Correct.
we are sorry.
Yeah. So by end of the training, you are not telling to them that you don't know UFT. You will tell them that you know UFT, and you will
We
tell
need
them
to
that
okay, we need
you have worked on UFT. Okay, to get through that. Now when you go for an actual interview, as you said, HR doesn't know what a manager would know, right? So manager will directly come into other tools rather than UFT.
okay,
So UFT thing, if you see RBC Bank, if you see TD Bank, if you see BMO, if you see Scotia, and if you see CIBC, out of all these 5 banks, only CIBC
mm-hmm.
uses UFT.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact there is, there are 50 different automation projects which are going on. Out of 50 different automation projects, maybe one project they use UFT, not all the projects. So
So
what they will do by taking you on UFT, not on other automation tools,
okay,
are the facts.
okay. So like you are going to give us an overview on UFT also, like
Yeah.
okay, this
So
is
UFT, I'm
okay,
not saying like, okay, we'll get only 1 hour training or 2 hours training. We will discuss some ample amount of topics, but not in the level of building the frameworks. All those things are not needed. but I will be taking that chance of discussing some VB script commands. So how do you write the scripts rather than record and playback? Directly I'm going to tell you how do you write the scripts in UFT, because first we are learning Selenium. So with that Selenium knowledge, UFT is much easier.
Okay. So like
So
VB script is also like Java and all.
yeah, it's easier than Java.
Okay, it's easy then.
It's easier than Java. So we are going to discuss all the commands that we use it in the real time. So with that, we are going to explain the overall process, how it will be, and I'm going to for sure take some ample amount of topics on UFT also.
Okay,
So that's
that's
the reason I
great.
need that 65 to 70 hours, or else why I need that 65 to 70? I don't need, right? So all these things I have changed a lot, and you will see those changes definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that is what I thought to have a demo session from 9 o'clock to give you a thought of how it will be and what all the things will be covered and how my way of teaching would be, all those things. So with that being said, one more time, I'm reminding you guys, please send me your email IDs in the chat window, because I would be sending you the recorded session, so it's easy for you to refer. If somebody has missed not to send your email IDs, please message your email IDs in the chat window. Okay, now so coming to the registration process, what you can do is you can basically talk to me after the class. Then I'm going to let you know how that registration process would take place, and you can call me. You can call me after the session. We can talk one-on-one also how to do that registration process and everything. And tomorrow the class will be from 9 to 1. So the session will go from 9 to 1, and tomorrow we are going to cover major number of topics. Like practically we are going to see how to write some test cases, how to do some testing on the application, and how we are going to log the defects and other stuff. Okay, any questions that you have, you can feel free to ask. If you don't have any questions, then I will connect with you guys tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and then we will discuss more on that.
Okay, I just want to know one thing. Like there are certain terms what they use, like SDLC, STLC, planning,
Yeah,
test
yeah, yeah,
certifications. Are we
correct.
going to learn those things also? Like,
Everything. So let me take this opportunity to explain what is covered. Now I don't know how many of you visited my website, so let me go through it. Techinspire infotech.com. Okay, let me save this in the chat window so that I have something. All right. Okay, so if you go this, whatever you people are registering, like if somebody want to register for the whole course, so this is what your course contents would be. Okay, so what we are covering is manual testing, then we are covering HPALM, then we are covering UFT, Selenium, basic and advanced both, GitHub, Jenkins, POM, which is called as framework building, Jira, SQL, and API automation. Now, if you go to each and everything, this is what will be covered. So introduction to manual testing, we have seen today. Software development cycle, white box testing, black box testing, and gray box testing. Levels of testings, unit integration system and user acceptance. What environments on which you are going to perform the testing. Then comes with types of testings. Software testing lifecycle, how do you write a test case? What are the different test case design techniques you have? Executing the test cases, logging defects, what is a test plan? What are the different SDLC methodologies we have? And all about Agile. So here, there is also something called as defect logging, logging defects. We are going to talk about triage meetings, who will conduct the triage meetings, how the defect lifecycle will be, and everything. This
so like
is
in defect
coming.
management, I'm sorry to interrupt in between. So in terms of this defect management, are you going to tell us about Jira over there?
Jira is a different module. So first I will go through it. Okay, then whatever questions you have, 99% it will be clarified. Still you have anything we can discuss. Okay, just give me another 5 minutes, we'll be done with that. Okay, then we go with HP ALM or Quality Center. In HP ALM or Quality Center, we are discussing these things. So what is Quality Center? Requirements module, test plan module, test lab module, defects module, and reporting, generating some reports. Every section has another sub modules also. So it's too much to write everything. So that's the reason I have given what modules are covered. Then we go with the HP UFT. In HP UFT, we are learning these things, right? So once we cover with this, we'll go with Java basics. These are all the Java things that we are talking. Array, array list, methods, return types, abstraction, static keyword, access modifiers, inheritance, everything. Then we go with basic Selenium. We are going to see what is a WebDriver and what all the things we automate. Then we go with the advanced concept of Selenium, which is TestNG. So TestNG, Maven, different annotations, how do you build a framework, everything. Then we go with
So
GitHub
then,
with Docker.
are we going to work on like different
Hold on,
frameworks? Like,
hold on for some time, it will be clarified.
okay.
Jenkins, we are covering with Jenkins. What is Jenkins and what all the things we have. Coming to the framework, I'm going with one of the most famous one that every company needed, which is called as page object model. We are discussing about this. Jira, which is part of manual you were talking about, these things are covered in Jira. Okay, so I mentioned separately because Jira doesn't come as a manual testing. So this has to be discussed separately. Explicitly, we are going to discuss on Jira. So this covers, even a business analyst can work with this. Scrum Master will help out with this. QA will be help out with this, and developer will be help out with this topics. Then we are going with SQL. In SQL, what are the different commands we have and how we are going to use SQL from an automation and manual perspective. In APM, we are discussing about, in API, we are discussing about these things. And there are some API testing tools, which is called as Postman. We are discussing all the concepts of Postman, Newman, SOAP UI, Rest Assured. In Rest Assured, along with this API, you need to know what are Swaggers, how do you integrate Maven with your Rest Assured, GitHub, and then Dockers. So this is my end-to-end course. Now we can discuss with the questions that you have. Yeah, Nikhil, any questions you have? Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay.
Yes.
Nikhil, are you there? I lost Nikhil. Okay, he's offline. Okay. So any questions? Other people? You have any
Hi,
questions?
Naresh.
Yeah.
Naresh, I've got a question. It's from tomorrow. Can you start at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, so that's another thing I was about to ask. Yeah, so I was thinking to tell it by end of the course. So
All right.
can we do from 10 o'clock, guys, from tomorrow? Because the thing is, he need to connect from UK. So until 2 o'clock he is working. So well, not 2. In fact, as soon as he is done with the work, he is joining. Instead of starting at 9 o'clock, can we start at 10 o'clock?
I'm
Everyone?
okay.
Naresh, one question here. Is this the only batch that you have? I remember you mentioning you have 3 batches during the weeks, right?
Yes, but the weekdays still we haven't formed. Weekdays will be from 8:30 to 10:30, and another weekend batch because we need to have at least 2 to 3 people to start with the batch. So currently, I have enrolled most of them for the weekdays morning. So there will be weekend morning and weekend afternoon that we are talking about that we are going to launch in 1 to 2 weeks of time. So that might be started somewhere. I'm targeting to start somewhere around 31st.
Okay, so if it's the afternoon batch, what would be the timing?
It will be from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay, sure.
So 2 to 6 would be the timing of it, and weekdays evening will be from 8:30 to 10:30 in the night.
All right. And that is not starting anytime soon. That's what you're saying.
So weekdays, I already have 1 or 2 people for it, and if I get one more person, then I'm going to start it immediately from coming week. So I'm targeting to start from mid, which is from Wednesday.
Okay. I think I will come back to you on which batch I would like to join. So
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah. So
Sorry, is it 2 days in a week?
sorry.
Which weekday? Is it
It
only
will
Wednesday?
be from Monday to Thursday. Starting from Monday to Thursday, the classes will be from Monday to Thursday from 8:30 to 10:30 in the evening.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Naresh, is that EST?
Yeah, everything is EST. So everything, all the classes will be in EST. So the weekdays batch will be from Monday to Thursday, 8:30 to 10:30 EST. Weekend will be one batch in the morning. So actually we are supposed to start at 9 o'clock, but few people they are requesting from 10. So one batch will be from 10 to 2. Other batch will be from 2 to 6.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So what I want is tomorrow we will be running the batch as usual. So morning 10 o'clock will be the schedule. So for that, people who are interested, if you want to register, let me know after the class. I'll tell you how to register and then we will take it from there. All right. Any questions? Nikhil, are you back? Okay then, so no questions. I will connect with you guys tomorrow at 10 o'clock and then we will continue with the things. Thank you and have a good day. And any questions you have my number. You can directly call to me on my number and then we can discuss more.
thanks, Naresh.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.